Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Thursday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today's October 25th, 2018, and now the News at Noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the Wisconsin man who founded the Little Free Library, a nonprofit that began with a dollhouse-like box of free books in his front yard and ballooned into an international book-sharing and literacy project, has died. Todd Bull died Thursday in a Minnesota hospice of complications from pancreatic cancer, said Margaret Aldrich, spokeswoman for the nonprofit. He was 62. Bull designed and built the first Little Free Library at his home in Hudson, Wisconsin in 2009 as a tribute to his mother, who was a teacher and a book lover. He put up a miniature version of a one-room schoolhouse on a post outside his home, filled it with books, and invited neighbors to borrow them. They loved it, and the idea quickly caught on. Thanks to the power of a good idea, the allure of a book, and the wildfire of the internet, the boxes have since popped up across the U.S. and in more than 80 countries. The whimsical boxes, placed mainly in front yards, parks, and gardens, are designed to hold 20 to 100 books. They invite passers-by to take a book, share a book.
And there's one in Dev Creek, too. From the Journal Photo, Jim Mimiaka, Dolores residents and officials continue to discuss allowing retail marijuana sales in town during a public workshop this past Monday. A moratorium on retail pot shops expires December 31st, and the town board is weighing its options. Board members can vote to extend the moratorium, lift it, or put the decision to a public vote in the 2020 election. No motions or votes have been made on this issue, but we have to make some sort of decision by December 31st. All the options are on the table, said Mayor Chad Wheelis. To gather more information, the town board convened a panel, including Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin, Mancos Town Marshal Jason Spruill, Cortez Police Chief Roy Lane, Mancos Town Administrator Heather Alvarez, and Cortez City Clerk Linda Smith. During the public and board questioning, the financial benefits, additional administrative costs, and impacts on law enforcement from marijuana sales were presented and debated. Mancos and Cortez officials were invited for their experience with marijuana shops in their towns. Lane, Nowlin, and Spruill felt that since marijuana was legalized, there has been a general uptick in social and criminal problems in local communities, but they also noted that they did not have specific data on the connection between marijuana legalization and crime. There's definitely an additional workload for law enforcement in order to monitor pot shops to ensure they comply with state regulations, said Mancos and Cortez officials. Annual license fees paid by pot shop owners also cover town administration costs. Cortez hired a full-time compliance and information enforcement officer to monitor the 6 pot shops, in addition to the many liquor stores, Lane said, but they also have other police duties. The Mancos Board of Trustees is considering hiring an additional officer to handle compliance and enforcement duties for the 3 pot shops in Mancos. It's hard for our small department to keep up with all of the new state marijuana laws, which are constantly changing, Spruill said. Dolores pays the sheriff to provide law enforcement, and Nowlin said an additional officer would need to be considered if retail sales were approved. To cover additional administrative costs and other marijuana-related issues, Mancos voters approved a $3 transaction fee on each sale. In addition, under state rules, each marijuana purchase includes a 15% sales tax, 67% of which goes to the town. The rest goes to state coffers that are distributed to schools statewide. Alvarez said the town's $3 transaction fee has been effective at covering overhead enforcement and administrative costs of allowing retail marijuana sales. In 2017, the transaction fee for 2 stores generated $195,000. The additional revenues from the marijuana sales taxes are used for capital improvements, Alvarez said, but the exact amount was not available. Cortez has also benefited from the additional sales taxes of its marijuana shops, said Smith, and $791,000 has been collected so far for 2017. The revenues go directly into the general fund. There was some debate among residents and local officials on to what extent marijuana shops and legalization in general causes additional crimes or social problems. Local law enforcement officials suspect there is a correlation and believe it's not a coincidence that since legalization they have seen more social and criminal problems. Drug-related crimes are on the increase in the county, Nowlin said, and marijuana legalization has been a contributing factor, end quote. Sproul said there is no way to track whether crimes were committed because of alcohol or marijuana, but he said he has noticed an increase in transients and homeless people in the parks and an increase in theft since marijuana was legalized. One citizen claimed that the economy, not marijuana, was to blame for homelessness and that other drugs such as opioids, meth, and alcohol caused far worse problems. If Dolores decides to allow the shops, they need more regulations in order to be ready, said a local business owner. If retail sales were allowed in Dolores, zoning regulations would need to be established on where they could be located based on state regulations, such as minimum distances from schools. Allowing retail marijuana in Dolores would have economic benefits, said one citizen. When I want to purchase cannabis, I drive to Cortez, and then I am there, I buy gas and do my shopping. It would be nice if I could do that in Dolores instead to support my own town, he said. Cortez and Memphis officials say they see a lot of out-of-state license plates at pot shops, including from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. Town officials said that if Dolores board members wanted to delay the decision on marijuana sales past the December 31st deadline, they could extend the moratorium. If it were decided to have the public vote on the matter in 2020, the moratorium would be extended until that vote.
Reported by the Durango Herald, low-income seniors in Durango will have a new option for housing in about 2 years. Construction of a planned 53-unit housing project in Three Springs along Wilson Gulch Road is expected to start in 2019 and may be complete in fall 2020, said Doug Snyder, Senior Development Coordinator with the Volunteers of America. The project will help meet a clear need for affordable housing in the community, said Sheila Casey, Director of La Plata County Senior Services. Some seniors in need of housing may be downsizing for homes they can no longer care for or moving to Durango to be close to family members, she said. New senior residents sometimes move to rural La Plata County but become socially isolated if they do not have transportation, she said. To help make the project happen, the city of Durango sold 3 acres for $10, Snyder said. The building will be about 2 blocks from Mercy Regional Medical Center. The project will be designated as affordable housing for the next 40 years, said Megan Herrera, a spokeswoman with Colorado Housing and Finance Authority.
Reported in the Journal File Photo, the San Juan National Forest is seeking public comment on a proposal to cut down mature aspens in an effort to improve forest diversity and sustainability in the Dolores Ranger District. The Dolores Aspen Landscape Vegetation Management Project area is about 20 miles northeast of Dolores. Proposed treatment areas are in the vicinity of Hillside Drive, Orphan Butte, Lone Cone, Cottonwood Creek, and Beef Pasture. The proposal identifies a roughly 8,000-acre analysis area and proposes treating mature aspen stands on 4,000 to 6,000 acres within the area. The project seeks to improve the age class distribution of aspen groves to maximize the benefits for a variety of users and ecological benefits. Aspen stands provide high-quality summer range for domestic livestock and habitat for some wildlife species. Aspen groves can serve as living fire breaks and are important for recreational and aesthetic reasons, according to the project's public scoping documents. Aspen is a fine-grained, light, soft hardwood. The Dolores Ranger District's aspen management program has been in place since the 1940s, primarily to supply local businesses that utilize aspen for its products. According to project documents, there is an overabundance of mature aspen stands and an underrepresentation of middle-aged and young aspen across the district. The goal is to create an intermixed mosaic of aspen age classes using a coppice clear-cut method to stimulate regeneration of aspen. This approach is intended to enhance forest resilience to future natural disturbances and improve habitat diversity while also providing desired forest products. Temporary openings created by coppice clear-cuts would be variable in size and shape. Small groups of trees would be retained in clumps adjacent to streams and for wildlife habitat. The project works to maintain the resiliency of forest ecosystems in an effort to increase protection against epidemic insect and disease outbreaks. The method of implementation could entail the award of several contracts to qualified businesses using open competitive bidding. The form of these contracts might be a timber sale or a stewardship contract. The 30-day scoping comment period began October 22nd and ends November 22nd. Electronic comments can be submitted through the comment form on the project website or by means of written comment via the U.S. Postal Service or hand-delivered, faxed or phoned in, or in person delivered to the Dolores Ranger District, 29211 Colorado Highway 184, 81323.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Montezuma County Hospital District has agreed to purchase the walk-in care clinic building from Southwest Health System as part of a financial recovery plan. The district board approved a purchase price of not more than $425,000 for the 3,500 square foot building at 1413 North Mildred Road on the Southwest Memorial Hospital campus, said MCHD Board Secretary Treasurer Fred DeWitt. Southwest Health will continue to operate the clinic and will pay MCHD for a lease. The pending purchase agreement is part of a forbearance agreement with lenders because Southwest Health System violated a condition of the bond that funds a newly completed $32 million hospital expansion project. Southwest Health bought the building in October 2017 from Dr. Robert Heil for $500,000, according to Montezuma County Assessor records. The walk-in clinic on the north side of the campus replaced an off-campus clinic that was closed as part of a consolidation plan. Other turnaround efforts, including staff layoffs and a new purchasing agreement for supplies, are working to improve the hospital's financial health, said CEO Tony Sudduth. The main bond violation was insufficient cash on hand, but officials said savings from cutbacks will begin to replenish the funds. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Looking at the national weather map, the Pacific Northwest remains under that mix of rain and snow potential, while you can see the Intermountain West along the Rockies. Snow is possible at all of the higher elevations. Ahead of that lower pressure system, the Central Plains also has rains all the way down to the southeast and Florida, while the Rust Belt and from the Mid-Atlantic up through most of New England, skies clear out after some early snows. Regionally, a weak disturbance will bring isolated to scattered showers to the Colorado and Utah northern and central mountains today and early this evening. Isolated rain showers are expected at lower elevations. Only light local snow accumulations above 9,500 feet are expected. A stronger storm is possible beginning late next Monday night and continuing through Wednesday. Widespread precipitation is possible. And the DCTV 5-day local outlook shows today mostly cloudy with a high near 58, north-northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, tonight mostly cloudy, and then becoming gradually clear with a low around 35, northeast winds around 10 miles an hour. Friday sunny with a high near 60, north-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Friday night clear with a low around 38, north-northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming northeast after midnight. And Saturday again sunny with a high near 66. North-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. And Saturday night clear with a low around 40. Sunday again sunny with a high near 66. Sunday night mostly clear with a low around 41. Monday mostly sunny, start with a high near 63. Monday night a slight chance of showers after midnight for us, mostly cloudy with a low around 42. Tuesday partly sunny with a high near 53. Tuesday night partly cloudy with a low around 30. And now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, Phase 2 in construction at RE6 Mancos School District continued this week, with work on various facilities around the elementary school and gym additions. Phase 2, which is scheduled to be completed in April 2019, will see the additions to the district's main gym and elementary school, and the multipurpose building will also be remodeled. This week, construction crews led by owner's representative Monty Giles were scheduled to complete the pouring of cement stem walls at the elementary school in an early step in setting the building's foundation. At the gym addition, plumbing foundation was scheduled to begin alongside slab prep, which is part of preparing a building's footing. Sanitary sewer and storm drain installation between the gym and west wing was scheduled to be complete, and crews continued putting up cinder blocks for a firewall at the south side of the addition.
Reported in the Durango Herald, photos Jerry McBride, file photos. Hay Gulch Coal, one of the only suppliers of coal for home heating purposes in the Four Corners, has been forced to all but close this fall because of a lack of available coal to sell. Quote, "I'm pretty saddened I can't supply the coal they require," said owner Mike Crawford. "I hate to let people down that rely on me." For years, people who use coal to heat their homes have traveled to rural western La Plata County to buy coal from the King 1 and now King 2 coal mines on County Road 120 about 15 miles west of Durango. About 11 years ago, as the mine planned an expansion, the operators, GCC Energy, contracted with Crawford to sell the coal at a site a few miles down the road to eliminate conflicts with mine operations. Today, the business serves about 5,000 customers from all over the Four Corners. Most people come from La Plata County and the Navajo Nation, but some customers travel from as far as Natarita, Gunnison, and even Colorado Springs because of the lack of other options in the region. Quote, "Supply is very low right now." This summer, however, GCC Energy installed a new piece of equipment that processes a higher efficiency, quote, "cleaner coal," said Chris Dorenkamp, mine manager. Most of the coal the mine produces goes to its parent company for cement production. While the mine is producing at a rate of 10% higher than last year, the new pieces of equipment operates at a set rate and doesn't allow for high surges of the, quote, lump coal preferred by people who heat their homes, he said. It spins a certain tonnage per hour and doesn't allow us to do the high demand for lump heating coal, Dornkamp said. The lump coal that is available has gone to the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, as well as the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad in Chalma, New Mexico, which prefer to fuel their steam locomotives with the same kind of coal people use in their homes. As a result, deliveries to Hay Gulch Coal have all but ceased. On the rare occasions this fall when the company has received a coal shipment, Crawford said it hasn't lasted long. A delivery last weekend of about 90 tons of coal was sold in 3 hours, he said. And another shipment of about 40 tons was gone in an hour. It's just a simple factor of supply and demand, Crawford said, and the supply is very low right now. Hay Gulch Coal closes operations over the summer and usually reopens around the first week of September. But Crawford said the customers don't start coming in earnest until the weather turns cold. Dornkamp said the mine informed its customers this summer the production was about to change and to plan accordingly. All of our customers knew this was coming, he said. According to state records, GCC Energy has churned out an average of about 700,000 tons of coal a year since it took over the mine, though in recent years the company has seen a marked decline in production. In 2017, GCC Energy produced just 543,350 tons. This year, the company is on track to produce about 634,000 plus tons of coal. Railroads to reduce demand. There appears to be some light at the end of the tunnel for customers left in the cold with the shortage of available coal. The railroad in Chalma recently shut down for the season, and the D&SNG will start its less frequent schedule of winter rides in the next few weeks, which for Hay Gulch Coal means there'll be more coal to go around. Al Harper, owner of D&SNG, said the train receives about 4 deliveries of coal a week over the summer peak season. In the winter, however, shipments drop to about 1 a week, he said. Harper did not have exact numbers when contacted this week for how much coal the train uses in a year. We use a fraction of coal in winter that we do in summer, he said, so there should be a lot of extra coal. Indeed, GC&C Energy's Dornkamp said in an email, we will have additional lump coal available for Hay Gulch Coal to purchase at that time, but Crawford fears it won't be enough. I'm hoping once the train starts shutting down, it will at least free up more for public sales, he said. I really don't think they're going to produce enough to keep up with supply and demand, but it will help. Another issue is there aren't many other options where people can get coal in the region. I wish that I could direct them to some place they could get coal. Crawford said, I don't know of any. About half of Hay Gulch Coal's customers come from the Navajo Nation, where a vast majority of households use coal in their indoor stoves to keep warm. Dwayne Chiliazzi, Shiprock chapter president of the Navajo Nation, said many people on the reservation make the long trek to Hay Gulch Coal because it's their only source of heat. Recently, however, vendors have been selling burnable coal from the Peabody coal mine in Arizona, alleviating the reliance on Hay Gulch Coal. There's a lot of coal that comes in from Peabody, Yazzie said, so people here aren't that impacted. In the meantime, for the people who do rely on Hay Gulch Coal, Crawford asked that his customers call before traveling to the business. He said he updates the company's voicemail when he receives a delivery and plans a sale. I'm a prideful man and run prideful business, Crawford said. I've always been there and always been reliable. You have to be when people rely on you, so it saddens me greatly that it comes down to where I'm not reliable.
Reported by the Durango Herald, La Plata Electric Association members will see refunds in November because the cooperative is retiring $5.3 million in capital credits. Businesses and residents who have paid electric bills since at least 2017 could receive checks or have their accounts credited as a result of the retirement, according to a news release. Only those owed more than $100 from capital credits will receive checks in the mail. The cooperative is required to return money it did not use to its members annually because of its tax designation. Payments made by members in excess of the cost of their electricity is placed into an account in each member's name. This capital, along with borrowed funds, is used to finance needed improvements to LPEA's system infrastructure, according to a news release. This year, $2 million of the $5.3 million will come from Tri-State Generation and Transmission, which supplies LPEA with electricity. LPEA is one of Tri-State's 43 members. Since incorporation in 1939, LPEA has retired nearly $70 million to its members.
From the Durango Herald, report and photos file. The past year in southwest Colorado has been tough for the tourism industry, perhaps not as brutal as a Navy SEAL mission in Afghanistan, but brutal enough that regional business leaders in tourism found a military acronym useful in describing how they've coped with blows thrown at them. VUCA, VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, an acronym developed at the U.S. Army War College to describe a battlefield environment, somehow seemed apt for an industry dependent on winter snow, spring runoff, and summer monsoons. VUCA, which has been adapted to the fast-changing environments businesses face in the digital age of disruption, was introduced Wednesday as a conference theme by Gregory Bunch, an adjunct professor at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. Keynote speaker at La Plata County Economic Development Alliance's 12th Annual Economic Summit held at the Skyute Casino. Al Harper, owner of the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, James Coleman, managing partner and CEO of Mountain Capital Partners and Purgatory Resort, and Aaron Kimple, program director at the Mountain Studies Institute, discussed how they coped in the past year when all the weather-dependent variables they rely on went awry. Coleman said VUCA describes the situation Purgatory finds itself in dealing with the uncertain fates of winter snow. But you can extend VUCA to everything that we do, he said. From attracting more families, dealing with a labor shortage, to enhancing forest health and dealing with fire mitigation around Purgatory, Coleman said VUCA is an apt description. Adding a 4,000-foot roller coaster with a vertical drop of 300 feet, Coleman said is part of the resort's efforts to attract more families and to become a more all-season destination. While giving away free passes might seem counterintuitive for a business, Coleman said the program has consistently attracted more families and helped the bottom line. Kimple said Silverton now has about 500 wintertime residents, up from a little more than 100 15 years ago, and that comes in part from Mountain Studies Institute's efforts to help diversify the town's economy while protecting ecological, sociological, and economic values. Mountain Studies is focused on community-driven science, Kimple said. The Institute communicates its research to the public and with the aim of finding applications useful for communities from Silverton to Taos, New Mexico. After purchasing the DS&G, Harper said on his first ride, he noticed he was the youngest passenger on the Silverton run. That's not a good model from a demographic perspective. The Polar Express he said, was DS&G's own effort to deal with the uncertainty of nurturing a sustainable business model in the face of demographic vulnerabilities. The effort has been successful, he noted. DS&G has sold 12,000 tickets so far for the Polar Express runs in December. He anticipates Polar Express will carry about 35,000 passengers during its 45-day season from Thanksgiving to New Year's. The train will also be adding a more affordable run from Rockwood to Cascade, opening a new market for families who previously could not afford the Durango to Silverton run. The changes come, he said, as the train adapts to a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment. Speaking of the year's challenges, Harper said, somewhere about May 15th, I didn't know at the time but I'd been FUCA'd. I don't know if there's a shock for that.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of October 15th through the 21st. A subject locked their keys in their vehicle. A deputy responded and successfully unlocked. 2 hunters were reported overdue. They showed up shortly thereafter. A semi was reported for reckless driving. The information was passed on to Utah authorities. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. October 27th, it's a pumpkin fest at the Pinion Project in Cortez from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. There's food, vendors, costume contests, prizes, trick-or-treating fun. In Memphis on the 27th, it's a pre-Halloween party at the Columbine Bar with the Motones. From 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, practice your dance moves. There's no cover charge. And of course, locally in Dove Creek, the State Line Bar and Grill is having their Welcome to the Freak Show Halloween party, also this Saturday, October 27th, starting at 9 p.m. A freaky good time with prizes for best costumes, Jello shots while they last, drink specials, and dancing with the freaky lights, smoke, and bubbles of VDJ Plus Ultra and DJ Bunnyhead. All for the free shuttle, no cover charge. Come out and dance and let the freak inside come out to play. All of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area. And of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.